Hello, welcome to Game Latte. Today we're having a little theorizing about Mass Effect 3. This is actually a re-recording of my original video just because it didn't turn out the way I wanted, so I'm just redoing it now. This was supposed to come out about 3 or 4 days ago. Bit of delay because I've been working, so there you go. So this is about Cerberus and the Illusive Man from Mass Effect 3, which is your big bad guy or the villain according to me. You may have a different opinion depending on what your perspective is on the Illusive Man and Cerberus. And basically this came out from E3, and there was a few bombs that were dropped at the conference, and that's what we're going to discuss. So if you do not want to be spoiled for Mass Effect 3, if you don't want to be spoiled about the last two Mass Effect novels, that would be Ascension and Retribution. And also we'll talk about the comic Evolution as well, where it's basically all about the origin of the Illusive Man and who he was and how he became who he is today. Also, before I get started, today I am drinking a vodka mud shake, chocolate. It's not a latte, it's not coffee, but it is chocolate. And yeah, I've loved these, and I've just been slamming these back on our lovely summers here. Where I live, our summers are quite long. They are not the summers, but actually our summers are short. But the days themselves are quite long, so we can, we enjoy long evenings in the sunlight. The sun doesn't go down till, I'm not sure, 10 o'clock, 10:30, and then as the end of June, it'll be more like midnight, and then more than that even, until we get very little darkness at all. And it's the same way in winter, except the other way around. I live pretty far up north Canada, so that's how it is. So anyway, that's why I'm drinking these. They're yummy and they're cold. Anyway, so back to the Illusive Man. So the big bomb. So again, if you don't want to be spoiled, back away from the video now. Okay. So I'll assume you're not going anywhere. And so what happened is now the Reapers are coming in full force in Mass Effect 3. And Cerberus is also after you at the same time. So many people, including myself, are theorizing that the Reapers and the Illusive Man are working together. Yes, why the heck do we think that, since in Mass Effect 2, Cerberus went through big lengths to bring back Shepard from death, basically, and to have them work for him to save the colonists and all of that. So anyway, so this all goes back to, there's a few hints maybe in Ascension and in Retribution where you see that, first of all, the Illusive Man is not a nice person at all. And you don't have to be a nice person to be a good person or to do good. He could be an anti-hero to the max, but he would be at the very end of one spectrum to be an anti-hero. He's in my book, he is a villain. I mean, he enjoys torturing those that cross him, and that's enough of a reason for me. But just the way he goes about things, and he says that he's all for helping humanity and all that, and preserving it and advancing it. However, he goes to extremes, and he goes to crimes against humanity. He does involve civilians in his research, and it's pretty nasty what he does, really. You just have to look at Jack, the biotic in Mass Effect 2, to even get a hint of what he's capable of running, the kind of projects he's capable of running on people. So, but further on, the comic Evolution is really the biggest hint to this, and basically, Tim is that's what the community at the BioWare social network call the Illusive Man, Tim for short. His real name is Jack Harper, and he was a very affluent human. I don't know if he was born into money, but it does say that he's had a lot of money for a long time. And when humanity not discovered Shanxi, but colonized Shanxi, and the Turians attacked them, I believe, because they were in Turian space. We find out a little bit more why the Turians were there in the first place. And it wasn't really to get the humans out of there. That was kind of like a side effect. What they were looking for was a Reaper artifact, which they found. And then Jack and he had two teammates with him, Eva and, I forgot the guy's name, Ben, I think, were with him. And he was not part of the military. He's part of a guerrilla kind of group, I guess. Kind of taking it upon himself to defend Shanxi against the Turians and to help out the military. But he was not actually part of the military at that point, I don't believe, the way it's described. He's just affluent enough that he can pull that. And he's already believing in the cause. So he was already starting his pro-human thing back then. But anyway, what happened is he basically, during the course of the story, got captured by the Turians. And the Turians brought back the artifact with them. And Ben went and touched the artifact, which reaperized him. Now, if you've seen the husks in the game and all of that, you know what I'm talking about when I mean reaperized. When you get put on those stakes and when you touch, you physically touch Reaper artifacts, the little nanobots, whatever you call them, get into your body and they change you into this robotic thing, zombie thing. That's what happened to Ben, and Jack was going to help him, so he was going to grab him off of the artifact, and some of the nanobots got into his eyes, and his eyes were reaperized. That's why he's got glowy blue eyes in Mass Effect 2. People were thinking, oh, it's maybe just, enhancement or something, or he's blind, or he was blind, or whatever. No, his eyes are Reaper artifacts. And through the comic, it's very obvious that Jack hears the Reapers. He has dreams about them. I mean, the Reapers are pretty far off at that point. This is 30 years before Mass Effect 1, or at least 29 years, I think. So, I mean, he probably doesn't hear them very clearly, but he does dreams about them, and he knows, instinctively knows where the artifacts are located. I think that's a really important point, because in Mass Effect 2, there's a few times where Shepard is like, Illusive man, how do you know this is there, right? He always knows where everything is, and he just kind of, it's now that I've read the comics and the comic, and I've replayed through Mass Effect 2, I really feel like Shepard was being manipulated throughout the whole game, kind of like a puppet on a string, and it pisses me off even more. I hate that guy, but it's I was gonna say. So anyways, he instinctively knows where these artifacts are, so that's why he was able to. I imagine he does have quite a big of a intel network, but he's also, the fact that we know this about him, it takes a lot of the mysticism out of some of the stuff. So there was a big debate on the biosocial network whether he was indoctrinated or not. A lot of people are very adamant that he can't be, that due to the comic he was able to resist it and all that. But if we know from the Reapers that even though a human may think they're resisting the Reapers, they're really not. They're always serving. If you're in contact, if you have Reaper stuff in you, I mean, it's pretty much a done deal. You can't really get around it. So I'm very, very, I mean, it's possible that the writers will go that way and say, oh yeah, the Illusive Man was, totally immune to the Reaper indoctrination, to the call, but I seriously doubt it. I think he's been indoctrinized this whole time, and it explains his obsession with trying to figure out how the Reapers work, and his little experiments. I mean, I think in his mind he is really trying to find a cure against indoctrination to help himself and others, I imagined, and he thinks that everything he does is for good, but I think he's really just playing into the Reaper's hands. So same thing with Shepard's body, the whole resurrecting Shepard and all that. I really think he was just doing Reaper's bidding, because I was shown, with Harbinger being obsessed with trying to collect poor Shepard there, that they really want Shepard, or at least his or her genetic code into their, assimilate. They're like the Borg. We'll assimilate you. So I think that's what's going on there. And that's my theory. I mean, there's been others that have been equally plausible, you know, that were kind of pro Cerberus and pro Illusive Man. But I think the sad fact of it is that the Illusive Man has been on the Reaper side this whole time, and I think it's, to me, a lot of people were angry at that because, you know, it's a plot hole or it's oversimplification. But I kind of feel that it fits into the whole pointlessness and the despair that comes with the last installment. I think the Reaper threat it should be a very oppressive threat. I mean, I'm hoping that, you know, what Harbinger and Sovereign was saying in the games, that, you know, we are the we are the vanguard of your destruction or something like that. That you know, that it has a really big impact in the second one. I don't expect the second one to be all roses and all that. It should be a very hardcore game. From what the devs said, it's supposed to be a much more personal experience than the other two when it comes to, you know, Shepard's story. And it's supposed to be more visceral. And what was the other thing I was looking for? It's supposed to have a lot of humor as well. So it's not going to be all really, really dark. There is going to be, you know, light side in the face of ultimate destruction, maybe. Kind of like the Joker scenes in Mass Effect 2. You get to control him, and he has this little thing with Edie, and Edie's says, what did she say, the joke? I love the sight of humans on their knees. And he's like, I love that. She's like, that is a joke. But you guys all heard this many, many times, I'm sure. So anyways, I'm going to stop it here. And that's my theory about the Illusive Man. Tell me what you think. Okay, bye.
Whoa, I drank pots and pots and pots and pots of strong black coffee, trying to keep my sleepy soul awake.